Hello, I'm Billy Max Ferg, and this episode is about healings, miracles, and when God shows up. I want to share a couple verses out of Luke chapter 3 and verses 21 and 22. It says, "Now when all the people were baptized, and when Jesus also had been baptized and was praying, the heavens were opened, and the Holy Spirit descended in a bodily form like a dove on him. And a voice came from heaven which said, 'You are my beloved Son, in you I am well pleased.'" I didn't start out as a Christian. I was like most people, far from God and needed salvation. And my wife got born again about 6 months before I did in a neighborhood Bible study. And she was attending a church, kind of a denominational church. And I went at Christmas, and I went at Easter, and occasionally if I felt like it. And one day she came home from church, and she said, "Oh, I was talking with this man at church. He was a businessman. His name was Rick, and he wants to start a Bible study in the church." And so he had gone to the priests and said he wanted to start this Bible study. And the priest said, "Well, we're kind of busy, but if you can find 3 people to help you, we'll sanction it, we'll allow you to do this." And so he had told my wife, he said, there's 1,000 people in the church. He said, "I have talked to 200 people, and I can't get anybody except one of the nuns, Sister Teresa. She was a sweet lady, and she said, she'd be happy to help us." And then he said, "But I know, Dawn, that you're a Christian woman, and I assume your husband is, and nothing could be further from the truth." But anyway, he was just looking for somebody to help him get this Bible study going. It was a good thing. And so she invited him over Sunday night to our house. And so when she told me that, I was like, I don't want anybody coming over on Sunday night. I want to watch my excuse me. I want to watch my favorite sitcoms, and I don't want anybody coming over and talking to me about a Bible study. And I was a little upset, and so we kind of had some words back and forth, and he came over, and he sat there for about an hour in my living room and talked about this Bible study. And I just never saw anybody so excited about the Bible. He was just all excited about the Bible. My wife was all excited about it and having a study, and it just didn't compute with me. And so finally, he leaves. And I told my wife, I said, "I'm not having anything to do with that. You guys can have a Bible study if you want, but I got other things to do." And went to bed. Next morning, I went to work, and I had a job where I drove a delivery truck, and had different locations that I had to go to. And I can remember it very, very, very well. It was probably about 8 o'clock in the morning, and I was just south of Mayville, Wisconsin, a little country road, and just minding my business. I was the only one in the truck. I only had one seat. I had no radio, no other, communication in that truck. And I heard a voice, an audible voice. And it said, "Bill, I want you to get involved in this Bible study." And first thing I thought of, I had been to church, I'd been to Sunday school. And I remember the story of Moses and the burning bush. And for some reason, that's the only thing I could think of, because, God spoke to Moses from that burning bush. And I said, "Lord." So I knew it was God, because there wasn't anybody else in that truck to talk to me. And even, looking back now, the devil certainly wouldn't be telling me to go to a Bible study. And I said, "Lord, I don't know anything about the Bible. You got the wrong guy." And he spoke to me again, and he said, "Bill, it will be good for you." Well, my life was kind of in trouble at that time, and I really needed something good in my life. And so that was the end of the conversation. And I just thought to myself, I'm going to have to do this. And so the rest of the day, whenever I'd make a stop, I would, look at people, in the place where I was, and I wanted to ask everybody, does God ever speak to you? because I thought maybe it was just really normal that God spoke to people, and I had just been missing it all these years. I couldn't bring myself to do it, but I was like that far off the ground all day long. I mean, my body tingled, and my mind was at peace about stuff, but something was going on. This was not normal. This had never happened before, and I kept thinking to myself, God spoke to me. I heard God today. Oh my gosh. And so I went home, and I said to my wife, I said, I think I will get involved in that Bible study. And she was so excited. She called up this Rick and said that we were on board. And I never told anybody for probably 10 years because, they say people that hear voices are crazy. And so I didn't want to deal with that. But we did get involved in the Bible study, and from that, it led me into the place. I didn't actually get saved in the Bible study, but it led me to the place where I actually got born again. And so I don't promote people or promote the idea that you need to hear from God audibly. I've heard one or two other people in my life give a testimony like that. But in that case, I wasn't born again. And so the Lord couldn't speak to my spirit man. So he had to speak to my natural man to get my attention. And that's probably the last time he ever spoke to me like that. And after I got born again, then I had the ability to hear God and be led by the Holy Spirit through my spirit. So I just share that with you today because it's kind of a unique situation, and glad it happened, and the end result is awesome. So I call you blessed, and hope you have a great day. See you in an upcoming episode.